Hello. 49.6% of the world's population is female. The world's first computer programmer was a female. Yet, women are still underrepresented in the technology and health innovation sector. While many are achieving great success in this field, the world is missing out on significant major opportunities that more women engaged in health innovation would bring. In this session, leading Russian women innovators will share their experience, their knowledge relating to achieving success, overcoming obstacles, and their thoughts on what needed to be done to better unlock women's potential in the health field. Today's speakers, and forgive me again if I mispronounced your name, Dr. Anna Kudyavtseva. She's a winner of the 2016 Presidential Prize in Science and Innovation for Young Scientists. Dr. Liana Ognizova, again, I'm sorry. She is invited expert and consultant in biomedical technology cluster of Skolkovo Foundation in Russia. And last but not least, Dr. Kristina Zakordaiva. She is the CEO of Inkurn, a drug development company. So thank you all for joining me today. As you know, today's session is about successful women in the field of innovation. Therefore, there is no better way to learn about their stories than hearing directly from them. So let me start with Dr. Liana. You are a health tech expert yourself. You were deputy head in the Center of Healthcare Quality Assessment and Control of the Ministry of Health of Russian Federation. Also, you have evaluated over 200 applications on innovative projects in medicine. So first, when did you notice this passion towards health innovation? At what age? And can you share some more stories about you?
Mahmoud, thank you so much. It's a great honor for me to be here with you and surrounded by such amazing women. And I would like to share my story with you. I started my career as a medical doctor, but even being a student in university, I always took part in different conferences and different projects. And after graduating at the university, I won the prize in 2009, European Innovation Hopes. It was the project about artificial skin. It was developed by Russian scientists, and I, with my team, tried to commercialize this project in different countries. So it was my first experience in innovation, and since that time, actually, I was always interested in that. And as now I have a lot of experience in medicine and in public health, as I worked in the World Health Organization and in the Ministry of Health, but I'm still interested in innovations, and Skolkovo Foundation, it's a great platform that brings together experts from different parts of Russia, and I see lots of projects every day, and that's great. And actually, I was really excited to get an invitation to the conference, and I performed a small research because I was interested about the structure of the teams. And what I saw that the heads of projects, of innovative projects in Skolkovo Foundation, it's mostly men. It's about 85%. And if we look at chief marketing officers, it's about 70%, and CTOs, it's about 50%. And it was quite interesting for me, and I would like to discuss it later, maybe with my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Anna, you are a L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science Award winner for your work in molecular biology. With this award comes, of course, responsibility. So first, how did this award change your life and affected it?
Thank you, Mahmoud. First of all, I would like to say thank you for invitation. And I work in Moscow in Engelgard Institute of Molecular Biology, and also I work in the oncological clinic. So I'm an example that you can get great results if science and medicine go together. My lab is an example. Then they have a lot of women. So in biology in general, they cannot see sometimes this great problem that it's difficult to find. It's difficult for women to be ahead of the laboratory, for example. So in math and or physics, it's quite different situation. So now I'm a head of the laboratory, and also I'm a head of facility center. It's a sequencing center which called Genome, and I became a head of this lab since 2011. And it was the first time that I was upset that I'm not a man, because there were 3 job applicants instead of me, 2 men and me. And it was just like a coincidence that after 2 weeks after my PhD defense, the head of our institute told me that they need to find a person who will work on the new sequencing instrument, a very expensive instrument. And I was happy because, and I said him, great, I will be happy to get this job. But he was confused because he just asked me about some other person. And
Okay.
Because the common opinion that always better for men to be a chief, because women, girls can go to maternity leave, and it's dangerous for important work. And it was my first victory, because I got this job. Because during all Christmas weekends, it's almost 2 weeks in Russia, I tried to find new collaborators, and I went to the interview with the business plan and with the list of potential collaborators, and that's why I got this job. But generally, it's not a problem in biology, but we have problems in the upper level. So, for example, in the Russian Academy of Science, they have only few women. So, and I think that the main problem in why it's happened, because then they need to vote for position. Women are the first who don't want to see other women in this position. So I don't know how. Huh? Sorry?
I was also saying we're going to talk about it also as well in the later on in this session. And allow me now to go to Dr. Christina. You hold a degree in internal medicine as well as PhD in the genetics of acute leukemia. You have successfully launched the Cancer Center of Excellence, and you have joined recently in 2019 the InCure drug development company. So behind a successful story, of course, there is behind a successful project, there is a story, stories of difficulties and obstacles, and no one can, no one from the outside of the people who are involved in this project can know about this, those details. So, what have been the biggest hurdles you have had to overcome, and what extent have you been related to in terms of the gender, or is it related to your gender? Sorry.
Sure. Thanks, Mahmoud, and again, thanks for the invitation. Actually, I'm a hematologist by training, so I would say most of my career to cancer research and novel technology development. And the story behind that is really simple, and it's just that I always knew that I wanted to change what is going on in the field of oncology. And I could do that in two different ways. As a medical doctor, I just could do my job well. I could be a great doctor for my patients. And during my clinical work, that's exactly what I was trying to do, to accomplish what is available currently in the clinical medicine, and to make proper decisions for my patients. On the other hand, and that's a really noble task. And on the other hand, I could go in a little bit different direction and participate more in the innovative technology development and in the overall, shaping the environment of oncology science. And when I was graduating high school, actually, my grandmother died of acute leukemia, and that was a great loss. And when I was in the medical school, and I started, looking deeper into the hematology field, I realized that exactly that type of leukemia, which my grandmother died of, by the time I was in the medical school, was cured in the vast majority of patients. And that happened because around the time when my grandma got sick, a new drug, which absolutely changed the outcomes of this disease, entered the clinical practice. So if it was there a couple of years earlier, my grandma would have a chance. It doesn't mean that she would be still alive and with us, but there are so many patients that need this chance right here and right now. And I realized that really well when I read the papers of that clinical trial results, which came out about the same time when my grandmother died. So the decision was pretty simple. I had the dream to change what was going on. I had a dream to accelerate the development and progress in the field. And that's how I started my path. And I worked as a medical doctor. I earned my PhD, so I worked on the scientific side. And I'm still involved in a lot of mostly clinical research programs. And I also I created and led the so-called Cancer Center of Excellence in the Skolkovo Foundation for several years. And that's when we united oncology startups in one community. And of course, then I was a chief medical and currently a chief executive officer for a startup. And having this diverse experience, I must say now that this is a way how you can accomplish your skills and make the best you can to advance the field. And I think the biggest thing I've done here in my country is that we started a Foundation for Cancer Research Support, which is a nonprofit, and this nonprofit fundraises to support scientists all over Russia. And I think that was the project where I felt most of the obstacles in my life, because we're doing something which is not currently mainstream in Russia. We have to overcome lots of difficulties, and I could speak forever about them. But in terms of any gender-specific things, I think I was lucky. I was lucky with people who were around me. I never really experienced during my career any real obstacles which could not be overcome because I was a female and I am a female. I did have difficulties during my studies at the medical school, during my PhD years, probably like my first years of career, but whether it was due to the fact that I'm a female or to the fact that I was really young and pretty ambitious, I don't know. So overall, I would say that I've never experienced really gender-specific obstacles during my career on the one hand. On the other hand, I've seen so many stories when my colleagues did that I can only say I was lucky, but I'm sure that they exist. So sorry for a long.
No, No problem. I'm just going to ask you one more question before I move to
Sure.
Liana. So what do you think there, in your opinion, why do you think there are, or we see less women in the health innovation compared to other industries?
So if we look at the overall landscape of the medical science, I would say there are more women among doctors than men. But I don't know the exact statistics. I would suppose there are either 50-50 or probably more men on a management level in clinical medicine. When we speak about startup field or industry field, well, I heard the statistics from Liana, but I know quite a few women leading not startups, but industrial companies. So I don't know, probably there are more men. Anyway, the question I'm always asking when I see that statistics, is it because women are not allowed to become managers, like what Anna was saying recently, or do the majority of these women have no ambitions to get to that level? And I think there should be a pretty robust data to support that as a starting point for the discussion. I think there is a really good research needed to answer this question. I'm not good at social sciences. I don't know how this research should be set up, what objectives and endpoints it should have. But I don't think that currently, probably I just don't know the answer, but currently I don't have enough data, and being a scientist, I would love to have data to, speak about that. But anyway, like from personal stories, I know there are so many different underlying reasons for that, both personal and societal, and of course family-related issues that may cause these discrepancies between female and male representatives in the field of healthcare innovation.
Thank you. So going to Dr. Liana, are women treated differently or looked at differently if they're working in the tech and the innovation sector?
So what can I see from my experience, and I completely agree with Christina that there are so many women in clinics, and there are so many trials that women, female doctors, they are more empathic, and even patients prefer female doctors than males. And regarding
I think we lost you.
Yeah, I think we'll
sorry?
Okay,
we just lost you.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Sorry?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Women in tech, it's the question of why they are underrepresented in tech sector. So
we wouldn't find out the answer, I guess.
Yeah, Dr. Liana, I think it's there's a problem with the connectivity. If you can hold on a minute, I'll come back to you. Let me move now to Dr. Anna. Do you think society have influence and can help in the journey to support women in innovation? And if yes, can you say how?
I think that the only way to support women in innovations is just support all innovations. So because sometimes they don't need the financial support, for example, especially in scientific institutes. So in general, we should give more money for research. So it will, as a result, we get more position for job, and more women can go on this position. And I should say that there are differences between different regions in Russia. So in some regions, it's not a big problem to be woman in, for example, like a position like the head of the laboratory, but in some places it's still a problem. So it's not only the problem with that women can go can be leader, but in some places men really didn't allow women to be at this position. I don't know what to say.
Okay, so since Dr. Liana is back, can you hear us now? Okay, you're frozen. No problem. Let me go to Christina. So
Sure.
does the Russian system encourage women to move into the field of innovation?
I don't think there is any, well, I don't know any special programs for women. I only know that there are women who support other women in tech. And I know there are quite a few initiatives where even friends of mine are involved, making podcasts, making groups, supporting other women, telling stories. And this is really, really helpful, I think, because when you hear other people's stories, and that's really encouraging. When we were in the very first steps of our foundation, there was a book which was published by two women who founded another foundation, another nonprofit, to support kids with cancer. And this book was, it was really straightforward. They were very frank in expressing the obstacles they were experiencing and in describing how difficult it was for them. And when you read this story, you're like, okay, so it's not the end of the world what's going on with my positions, my career, my ideas now. Everybody is experiences problems and, and difficulties. And that's so great when you can hear other people's stories and you can relate to them, and you can get your inspiration to move forward.
Thank you. Dr. Liana, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, so I'm back. Thank you. So I would describe briefly my opinion about women's role and women's position in medtech. So regarding the statistics, what I analyzed it and what I found for me, the first reason for this statistic is that women start their career with great enthusiasm and they defend PhDs and they become great specialists. So in these innovative companies, they take about 50% of CTO's positions, but they don't lead the project, and they try to find the reason why don't they lead the project. So one reason is obvious, that in at the one moment of their life, they are family oriented and they have to pay more attention to their family and children. So this way, it's very important to implement family-friendly policies in companies, so to support women and to implement flexible hours for working, so women can combine their career and working and their family. So, and another reason, so I just tried to find the reason why in biology. So as being a medical doctor and supporting evidence-based approach, I found some trials. So there are some differences between women and men and their brain structure and functioning. So the one is that males, they are more risky and they are more competitive, and so they are successful in a way. But females, they are more careful sometimes, and they have better communication skills, and their biological function is that to preserve the next generation. So But of course, individual differences are very considerable, and we can find very risky, innovative women and very and a man who prefers to stay on the safe side. So in general, we can see this trend, and that's why it's very important to support women in their innovations and to create such a friendly atmosphere for them.
Great, thank you. In fact, we don't have to look far to find women in the very apex of the innovation, such as we have Maria Telex. She's a Hungarian scientist. She's one of the first to create thermoelectric power generator back in 1947. Another example is Heidi Lamar. She's the incredible mind behind the Wi-Fi and using the radio communication with the hub from one frequency to another. And also, there's a lot of examples. So I'm jumping now to Dr. Anna. First question is, do you have like a role model that you follow?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you have
say it again, please.
Do you have like a role model, someone who you look at and you follow from the previous women in history, like they have big names and or they have a footprint in the history?
For me, it's not a woman, unfortunately.
Okay.
I came in the Engelhardt Institute, and he is my example. And I have even my birthday the same like in Engelhardt.
That's nice to know. So then, from your experience, from your knowledge, what are the common mistakes that people do when they do developing innovation ideas?
The problem is that people who work with innovation, who work with from the science side, they don't have enough management skills. So it's very important, and I think that they need to have a special courses in universities, maybe during the PhD period, just to investigate how to manage about the project management, about how to create a startup and so on. I know that in some places people get some knowledge, but they need to know more for sure. And the most the majority of mistakes is because they just don't need anything about management skills. They don't have management skills.
Thank you. Dr. Rihanna, I know you're also involved in innovation. Do you have anything to add to that, like from your experience?
So actually, I'm reading the question about encouraging women to be in the field of health innovations. And I think that government should support women to stay in innovation by implementing these family-friendly policies. It's the first one. The second thing is that the world is changing now, and Russia is changing too. And so lots of families, they are changing, and men, they are taking more and more part in parenting and householding things. That is important because it's the part of our life. And historically, women took this part on themselves. So I think that step by step, women will take more part in innovations, and as Christina said, that they will have more and more ambitions to lead projects. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see more women soon.
Hopefully. So going to Christina, do you think women look at problem differently, and that's what makes them unique in the health innovation?
I think every person looks at the problem differently, and that's the beauty of having complex teams to solve different problems. And if the society tries to exclude women from any activities, that would that would bring lots of disadvantages to the advancement or development of any field. And of course, that's very true in healthcare, because that's the statistics I know, that women are the customers of the healthcare more frequently than men, because, well, of course, they start earlier, because they get pregnant, and so they, you know, in early years they face healthcare, and they should be the part of the healthcare development and be the part of these, you know, diverse teams that take part in the development of new technologies. So of course, you know, excluding women from these fields would be really disadvantageous for the whole world.
There's actually a study I think done by University of Michigan. They're saying the conclusion of the study that a group, a diverse group with both gender, can perform and produce better than a non-diverse and gender equality group. So there is a study about that. So thank you. I completely agree, Dr. Ann. If you could have, or if you could do one thing differently, what would it be?
Sorry, repeat, please.
Okay, so through your experience, of course, we take decisions and we do in projects. So if you have to go back and do one thing differently, or change decision, take it completely different, what would it be?
Maybe I'm an exclusion of the rules, but you know, then I tried to see back what I think that everything what I did, it was good, it was right decision, and I'm happy that I'm the head of the lab. And many times I think that it was a mistake that I chose biological faculty instead of medical faculty, because I really thought that the doctor is the best profession for me. But 2 years ago, I understood that it also was the right decision, because maybe I can be a good doctor, but I cannot. I'm too empathic, so it's really painful for me to see the illness, people with disease and with many problems. So I think everything was okay, so and was right.
And it's never too late to pursue a dream or a new passion. So one more question before, because I know now we are almost 7 minutes before the end of this session. I'm going to ask you a quick question, Dr. Anna. What advice would you give to a woman with a new innovation idea she wants to develop? Oh, so this question I'm going to ask every one of you. So if you want, whoever wants to start first, please go.
I could start because I think that women should be more self-confident, and they should be free of judgments, because women, we are like, we always look at other people, at society, and the people's opinion is very important for us. And so in modern world, everybody expects women to be perfect and always. So I mean that that woman should enjoy the thing that she's dealing with now. So if it's innovation, just enjoy the process, and it doesn't matter if you succeed or not, and to be confident and free of judgments. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Christina?
Sure. So my advice would be find a mentor. and find someone who would lead you through this way. I was really lucky to have several mentors during my life. They were not only always women, but that doesn't matter. But these people influenced my decision making, my self-confidence, my the choices I made, and the people I worked with. So currently, I'm mentoring in one of the professional association programs, and I'm learning from my mentee. We've just started, and I'm learning so much from her now, and I'm looking differently at what I've been doing during my career. So if you find a proper mentor who will encourage you and who will help you to get through really difficult times both professionally and personally, that would be, you know, your best decision you would ever take.
Thank you. And I'd agree more. I know woman mentors is very important. So, all right. So last for you, Dr. Anna.
My advice, don't be afraid to go higher and higher, because usually this problem is inside our head. So if you don't go, you will not get.
That's actually true. So always follow your dream and passion. And
Follow your dream, and everything will be good.
Never let anything stop you, basically. Great. So I'm going to Dr. Liana. Do you think that you would like to add anything or to talk about something that maybe we haven't discussed in this session?
So I think that yeah. Sorry.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. I think that innovations, they are changing now, and with the world, and so we see different initiatives from women and male, but mostly it's the team, as you said, because only effective team can produce a perfect idea and lead it to the end. So I think that collaboration is the most important thing nowadays, and that's why we can succeed. Yeah.
Of course. So, Dr. Christina, do you think now it is easier for a woman to scale and basically grow than before? Because maybe with the technologies that we have right now, with the easy access because of the internet.
I would say that, again, in our country, due to the history we had, women played always like a bigger role in the society compared to other countries. And so we started a little earlier with women involvement in different fields. And yes, I agree that with current technologies, it's easier for a woman to combine family responsibilities and job responsibilities, some hobbies, some interests, and I think it will be, and the society is changing globally, and we see more and more countries which are encouraging women to be active members of the society. So I think the world is moving in the right direction, and it will be getting. So we would be shaping that. So we would be more and more confident in taking decisions, and we would, get more data, more information, and we would see when we deviate from the, correct paths that we are taking and we're pursuing, and that's gonna be in probably in 10 or 20 years. I think the world will be different again.
Thank you very much. I'm aware that we have less than 2 minutes. Dr. Anna, I have one more question to say or to ask. What do you think the role of the family and friend? How important is the role of the family to support the women and to support, even I'm talking about family, the whole family and friends. How important is this role?
For sure, it's a great support if your parents or your husband can spend time with children, for example. And but you know, it's very difficult to find husbands who understand why are you in the lab after midnight. So sometimes people found scientists became together, then they are both scientists. And for sure, without the family support, it's very difficult to become the head of the lab, even head of the head of the laboratory. So the role of family is really big. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, for joining this session. I know we can go for another hour probably, but because of the time constraint, I will have to conclude this session. Thank you for watching, and thank you everyone for joining me today.
Thank you.
Mahmoud.
Thank you.